The Lyran beginning part 2. The history of Jesus and his bloodline, which some says come from is right now is the royal bloodline of Europe. So the divine right of the kings in our history is from the same idea to keep those bloodlines intact, and that was linked with power and control. Exactly. There have been a lot of secret genetic programs on your planet up to present day. One that some of you are familiar with is that of Jesus' bloodline. Jesus having had children. We are not talking about this reality in depth. We've avoided like the plague. Why is necessary to get a group of people together so that you don't have to avoid it? Well, we may go into it today, depending on the dynamics of the group. Jesus was Hebrew, obviously, and he could know he's Aramaic, ding dong, obviously, and he could not have held, anyway, Hebraic, Aramaic, Arabic, almost all the all Semites. And he could not have held his position as Rabbi had not been married. And was he a rabbi? Was he? I don't believe he was a rabbi. Really? I feel that he was never a rabbi. He just a freelancer speaker for the people. He tried to make he was a transformer. He tries to transform the people of those time. He was not a self-appointed rabbi at all. Something discrepancies here. It's not true. The unscientists speak of Jesus as a rabbi, and he could not be a rabbi of their standing without being married. No, he was not married. He was not married. He was not a rabbi. There were children, obviously, because of the controversy around Jesus. His children would not talk about their heritage indiscreetly. After Jesus' disappearance, shall we say, the family fragmented somewhat, went into hiding. See, there is a bloodline on your planet that you call Merovingians or Merovingians or don't know, Merovingians. In Latin, I would say Merovingian. This was more active many centuries ago. They represent what's left of Jesus' bloodline. This is what they claim. And some of you also claim, oh, his bloodline is in Europe. So who is right? His bloodline is the royal families of Europe. The Holy Grail. There is a whole idea. There's a whole idea of the Grail, what it represents, and how people have been seeking after it so long. Look at the symbology. Remember that when you are dealing with something that is mythologized, you are dealing in symbology. It might not necessarily be what you think. The mythical cup that held Jesus' blood, in symbology, a cup can be seen as a womb. Blood would be genetic material codes, what makes you who you are. So you have a womb that is holding this genetic connection, the grail. This is the way we would interpret it. It's not a thing. It's not material riches to be sought after. It is an idea. It is the key to your liberation on earth. It's the recognition of who you have been, who you are, and who you will become. It's the entire genetic package of your heritage. So you have seen people risking their lives to find the Grail, not even knowing that they are looking for. It was because they sensed that it represented freedom. You also had people desperately looking for the Grail to hide it so that it would never be found. This is the dynamic that's been going on your planet. You have groups who want to keep you in ignorance and fear, and you have groups who want to liberate you. And those are that one start from the aliens, the hierarchy of the aliens. But what's the agenda? I cannot I cannot say for sure whether they really have our well-being at heart or not. They've been butting heads for century after century. Again, we remind you it's yourself and yourself. You are the only prayers. No one is doing anything to you. This is your way of being extremely creative and clear up all this stuff. Discovering your heritage, using the past to move it cleanly into the future. During the next 20 years, math is going to be emerging. I see from 2009 to 20 years is will be 2009, is it? Yeah, I guess, yeah, 2009. No, to 2029. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, 2029. Gonna be 20 years from now, from the day this material was disclosed. This is one way of being extreme creative and clearing up all this stuff, discovering your heritage, using the past to move it cleanly into the future. During the next 20 years, math is going to be emerging. So much information, so much revelation is going to be emerging. It will be like a cleansing. This is necessary. It is going to come in layers, because bit by bit the bed fills up the stomach. The top layer may be your government's revelations. Oh my goodness, that's just covering up. One more layer of cover up. Well, cover up's not the word we are looking for, but you know what we mean. Hidden agendas. Your divine heritage. The basic hidden truth. All of these facades are covering up covering up is your divine heritage, who you are. It doesn't mean you are all gods on a pedestal. Of course not. It means you are all equals to God. Or maybe we are part of God. I would say we are part of God. We are minuscule part of God. You came from the heavens. Yeah, we come from the stars. You have a connection. You each have your own personal connection to a God that no one can dictate to, and you are part of a vast network of family from planet to planet to planets to planets. So, yeah, might be, yeah, a very liberating idea. Yes, that's why it's not widely known. It is too liberating. That's the foundation piece that all of the facades, the governments, the religions, etc., are covering up. The Grail is one key toward the understanding of yourself on a genetic level. Who you are, where you've come from, and the way you are going. Jesus and the crucifixion. In one of the set books, they talked about the idea that the actual body that was crucified wasn't the body of Christ, but it was somebody else. Can you comment on that? This those the Muslims also believe in that it was another man who died on the cross and not the real Jesus. We knew someone was going to ask that question. We would agree with that. We've not really come out to say this yet, but Jesus did not die. Oh, now he will come out. Jesus not die because nobody died and blah blah blah. The ultimate blasphemy you may throw at your society is that he did not die on the cross. Oh, the ultimate blasphemy you may throw at your society is that he did not die on a cross. His value was recognized, and the individuals responsible for the crucifixion knew that a dead martyr is much more powerful as a symbol. So there were various political things that went on. He was allowed basically to go into hiding, and another was sacrificed in his place. Mm, you will not tell all the truth. I'm sorry, there's something more here. Thus, he was able to keep the genetic line going. No, it was not for this reason. One day I'm gonna tell why. I already told you why in the other videos. This fellow, he is not tell the truth. He's talked so much about government covering up hidden agenda, but he too has any hidden agenda, and he's hiding something. What then is the Shroud of Turin? Could be something makeup or no, but that one was real the man. Yeah, was real the man who died and died. I don't know. He could be a cover up. Who knows? But that face, he looks like exactly what the Jesus would look like. Many of these stories we share with you may sound very fantastic. Yeah, and a cover up or some is not true. It's half truth. You have to look at the whole picture instead of the fantastic stories. The blood that was put in the shroud was not the blood of the person who died on the cross. But why is the same? Because I saw him. I saw him many times. He came to me and he looked exactly like the same features, the same face in the shroud. How to explain that? I've seen since 1976 I have been seen. It was the blood of Jesus, but he was not dead. Ah, now you are tell exactly because that was the man I saw. No, I didn't see, I have been seen. Not just one time, I meant I have been seen. He is not in trance or in altered state of consciousness. Well, a little bit of all you've mentioned. He had the ability to put himself in a very deep trance-like state, which he had learned in India. Indo Hindus, if you ask any Hindus who is well vested in the Sanskrit Vedas, you will hear them say that yeah, Jesus went to India, and he used what we call tunnels not to walk to travel. In those time they did not use what we call caravan, no, not caravan, you know, the boats that Cabral, no, Cabral, that Christopher Columbus used. No, they didn't use that at this time. They used tunnel network. Jesus went to Afghanistan and he went to South Asia, right? So that's how they travel in those times. And he went almost all over the earth using that system of network. And he was able to translocate himself. Mhm. Of course, why not? Using those tunnels. And they even found this tunnel in Afghanistan. When the soldiers, American soldier, found this tunnel, I don't know what, something happened there, and they tried to bomb that place, and something happened to the soldier. I heard a story like that, that a similar such a a tunnel was found in the caves of Afghanistan, and everybody knows that Afghanistan to North Indian is filled with mountains, right? And cavernous terrains. Hence the appearances in front of the apostles. To him and the apostle, it was no big deal. Of course, he could transmute things. He had this special power because, well, in reality, let's just speak direct. He was an alien. He was not really human, but his spirit was an alien. Why was he wrapped in this road? Why was he buried? It was necessary for people to believe that he had died. Oh, it's necessary because of the agenda, alien agenda, to form religions system, organized religion systems, and to have this man as a god, right? Then that's why. But didn't they see that the man on the cross and the man that was buried, you wanted the same person? They did, but there's an agenda. There was a program going on. I mean, linearly speaking, dealing with that group of people and those belief systems and that intelligence, didn't the same people go from the cross to the burial? And those who knew already, they are dead. They cannot speak now unless they have they are now right now here, and they have been there. I have been there. I have been there, but I don't know whether at the same time of Jesus. But I have been there. I was one of those people who have had a reincarnation Saint Palestine, made by one of this man called Jesus. Who knows? I have been with Alexander the Great. I was a soldier, a Greek soldier. But if I say that to everybody, say, "You are a crazy woman." So what? It's okay. Yeah, it's your opinion anyway. It's your think. So be it, no problem. But I know what I've seen. So, first, many of the people who were angry about his existence had never really seen him. It was all hearsay. They had no real idea who he was. All the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the people that surrounded him had really seen him. There was no TV, no photographs, of course not. So it was very easy to deceive the public, of course. And the people in those times were very foolish indeed. You wonder today about things that are covered up and how could that have happened? Well, today with TV and newspapers and everything, we still don't know the truth of Kennedy's. That is also the idea of sleight of hand. Keep someone busy here while something else is going on over here. Very easy to do. Of course, if anyone else knew the truth, they were either executed or threatened enough that they would be quietness. True. Even today it happened. People were very fearful then. Yeah, that's true. They couldn't speak even if they wanted to. They have no choice. There was this appearance, the banishment of Jesus' family into the Greek area and end up into Europe. So there was the disappearance, the banishment of Jesus' family into the Greek area and up into Europe. Oh, Alexander the Great, he claims to be from the lineage of Jesus. And I was there based on my accounts. I have been there with this Alexander the Great, and no wonder this man follows me everywhere I go. Look like Jesus. I mean, he was at too up to 2014. So they felt they would never have to deal with it again. Of course, all of the different structures that became the charges took took it and ran. And you have these structures you have today. What then happened to Jesus? Did he die a natural death? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He died a natural death, yes. Well, um, but why he came to me in 2005 and took me to this place that he called Mount Olive, something like this, Mount Olive, and he showed me that structure all in white, painted in white, and below I saw a lot of places, a lot of houses, and it was like a monastery, only that it was fashioned according to their own system of architecture, and I saw a a tomb. Um, is some kind of basement. He pointed there and he showed it to me, and then he started to cry and solace, like, and that feeling, that the emotion that he once his passed to me, and I wake up from that trance because I was waked and suddenly I pass over, and this guy wearing that same clothes like is Jesus. He came to me. I was on the computer. He put his hand on my shoulder. I turned back. I didn't look at up his face, but I saw his body all in white. And when I looked down to his feet, he was wearing that kind of rubber, no rubber, leather sandal, and something was tied up on his waist, and his, how to call it, this gown, loose gown, very long one. He had a beard, dark. His skin was dark. It was about 1 a.m. and I just had a bedside lamp and the computer. This is cat. Every time I'm doing something, they come to disturb purposely. Very disruptive. So he touched my shoulders. He tapped actually, and as he did that, I started to tremble and I pass over. When I pass over, I saw that I came up from my body, and he hold my light body, and then we went through the wall. I still can see the sky, the place downstairs. I was in my light body, and we travel in a speed of light. In 1 second, we were in Palestine. I don't know where this place he say is Mount Olive, but he didn't talk with the mouse. He talked the telepathy to me, and I didn't say nothing. I just listened. I didn't say a thing, and he said that is Mount Olive, and then he point below to a tomb, and I saw the tomb, and in my mind I read that what he was trying to say was that he was buried in there. His body, his remains were in there, in that white tomb. It was washed with all white, and this particular incident, happened in 2005. Okay, and from there on, when I start to know better about the whole story, he come out for me, chat another vision. He was scary, not say scary physically, but his emotions, his behavior was totally deranged. You see, he will try always to harm me, to kill me, etc. And from what I gather while he was telling me that thing, that he was buried there and so on and so forth, I came to realize that I had somewhat a link with that man. I have a link with him. I don't know in what way, but I was there. I was there with him when he died. How he died, I don't know. But I was there while he was alive. Who was I? I don't know. Maybe I cannot say. I'm not even telling. No, I'm not telling. So a supernatural death, thank you. Yes, not a natural death in the sense of pain. Basically speaking, he was there 1 minute and gone the next. Let's say No, what you say that he just let it go the body and go away. Because aliens can come and go once they please, and they just let go their body. Okay, so this is what happened. He just want to sleep. He didn't want to sleep and then die. No, it didn't happen. But why? What is there in that tomb in the Mount Olive? Who is there? What's there in that tomb? That's the mystery. Who is there buried? Who? Some people think that's Jesus, but I don't know. He pointed it there. Who was there? Me? I don't know. Because if it wasn't him, then it was me. I mean, a part of me that was in the past. Because as he started to sob, I also started to sob uncontrollably, and I wake up shaking. I was filled up in tears. Oh yeah, and he said something like the battle, the torture of the Calvary. Yeah, I remember now. He told me in my mind the torture of the Calvary. So he translated himself very quickly, which will take us back to the sexual birth and conception because he was not totalitarian in nature. I did think so. See now how true I am? He was not human. He was not human. And when I figured out who he was in nature, he come to follow me. Then he show his true color. See? His true personality surfaced. He came as a Senenda in 2016. He came to me on a beach and he was surrounded by elves. Not elves, dwarfs. And this dwarf was with a woman who was following me, a black-haired slim black-haired woman, and she also had those same dwarfs surrounding her. And this Sananda also, and he he was mocking me, he was mocking me. He called me like this, make a sign with his finger, his index finger, and my light body stupidly went, because if I were in my body here, I would not go. He could do anything he wanted with me, but I would not go. He called me, I came to him, and then he said, with a very fake personality, he said, "You look tired." And then he said, your eyes look so tired. And I maybe say something like, "I'm worried about you." Then he placed his hands on my forehead, and as he did that, I start to tremble. I start to how to say, vibrate in a very high speed. I couldn't control myself, and as it once happened to me, he burst into a very wicked laughter. Like, do see wicked people, wicked sorcerer. And strangely, I start to laugh at him. And after that, I find out that I had some supernatural power. However, it was in that out of a bad experience, that particular out of a bad experience. But when I come to my physical body, I find out that some of my powers have been taken stripped away from me. Like, I have the power to heal myself. I have the power to invoke rain, to call up rain, to conjure rain. I still have. It's coming back slowly, but he took in 2016. He took it away from me. So instead of giving me, he took it away from me. You see, and he would always come with a Afro boy. Many times I would see him with an Afro boy, and yeah, they wanted me. He wanted harm to me. They There's one time when I saw him inside the house in the kitchen. I turned around and he was behind my back. Before that, I saw him on the outside there on the crowds, looking up me where I was inside the room and the window. I saw him there in the crowd with a beard and a very large face. After that, he came inside. I saw him in the kitchen. He was behind me. And then he didn't say a thing, but he talked to me. He talked to me through telepathy. He said, he came after you. He came to take you away. And then I said nothing. I kind of, what's going on? I don't know what's happened. It was in 2014. And suddenly I saw a push, a very hard push on my back that sent me run toward the kitchen window. I live on the 10th floor. It's very high. And the kitchen window opened up by itself. He opened up the kitchen window for me to fall down. As I was falling down, there was an Afro man with a hearse, a hearse car, a very black car that they put coffin inside. It was there. And they wanted my death. Yeah, my death. And I still survive. I survive. I didn't give up easily. I survived. I say, you're not going to easily destroy me. And I returned to my body. Um, Many times I have this thing. I have others also, other types of vision. If this man, this being, I won't say man, but being, he had capabilities that the people of the time did not recognize. They want common. Yeah, of course, he was an alien. He's an alien, of course, and I know who he is. I know what is his lineage. I know. What about his life after this crucifixion scenario? Did he continue a so-called normal, ordinary life and hide or in another place if his family? Hello, idiot. The the alien already told you that he was an alien. So why are you still asking in a way as if he were human when he was not human? He was not human. He's not human. Once he able to leave some kind of work after what he did for the mass consciousness, he actually did continue to teach. He taught in various disguises with different names and identities. It was not difficult in that time to do so because the world was not linked through planetary communication. It was necessary for him to change locations, but he was instrumental in beginning what you consider to be secret societies. Not that not that was what he planned to do, and that's not what he planned to do. Secret society, huh? Well, a lot of the things he did come out differently from the way he planned. Exactly, but after he was gone, it was recognized that he had started a liberating teaching. What is so interesting about the way your planet has through is that anytime you have gotten a teaching that you see is liberating, you restrict it. You keep it secret. You make people pay a lot of money to get it. Not me. Not me. I don't ask a cent from nobody. So beware of these people who ask for money. Oh, here's my PayPal. Please pay me. I need money desperate, but I don't ask 1 cent from nobody. Whatever kind of a paradox there. So everything that is paid, there has no value. Everything that is for free, that is where lies the real value. Because when given by the heart, it has the value, the sublime value. And the intention, this person intention is real good. Whatever kind of a paradox there, but that was the way you felt you needed to do it. Actually, that could be a foundation for the societies you are aware of today, such as the uh, Rosicrucians, the Knights Templar. Yes, absolutely. Knights Templar, Freemasons, yes, absolutely. The foundation was in the early teachings of Jesus and then onward. Oh, so he opened up, he paved the way for those secret societies to come about. Rings a bell, doesn't it? How long did he live roughly? Interesting question. He spent a lot of time, not in the earthly dimension. So he actually lived a lot longer. But in terms of earthly chronological years, we would say perhaps 80. Oh, so he died at the age 80. We can't really give you a direct number because it is not really counted like that. But he lived for quite some time. You will find that as things are being uncovered, you are actually going to find some texts in Southern Europe that will account for his life after the crucifixion. No one's going to want you to know that, so that will be quite controversial. Some of the material is linking out now. There were other teachers in various areas of the world who came, I assume, to give somewhat the same idea to people, to get them to realize they had their own power and to love each other. Although I'm very murky on the subject of Muhammad, as you should be, Muhammad is a different situation. In no way always lamenting his glamour, but once an overlord, so you are dealing with a little bit different scenario. So the being I saw was Muhammad and not Jesus. I'm not sure. Who knows? But I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. Yeah, who knows? Mary and the Immaculate Conception. We would like to go back to the Immaculate Conception. It's very interesting story. I don't think that she ever have Immaculate Conception. No, she had sex. Her mate was Yusuf. Miriam have her companion, who's Yusuf. And I don't think that it was Immaculate Conception. No, that once created. This was to start uh, the Egyptian Coptic Church, the first Catholic church was created in North Africa and in Egypt. And this Coptic, okay, it was not the Roman Catholic. Before you come, oh, Roman Catholic, Vatican, this and that. No, 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 no. It was not to do nothing with the Romans. The first church, the first Catholic Church. Cat come from the felines. Catholic cats. Felines. When they started and originated in a place in Egypt, I forgot the name right now. Sorry, but it was created in Egypt. It was not in Europe at all. Europe just follow their ways, like they like to follow the Mohammedans and the Muslims, the Abrahamic, and all that. So it has nothing to do with Europe. Europe was came later, after the no Apostle Paul, Saul. The real name is Saul. It was him who first give us like this a hint to start, and the Romans follow. All up to create the Roman Latin Catholic Church. Cat is from, I think, Nana Ishtar. Okay, and um, it's basically okay. I was a Catholic, and I at least I have a good experience with the Catholic Church. So, but I'm not speaking for other people. So I don't know. It's a very interesting story because today in contemporary times you have the story of UFO abductions where some women are implanted with children. Yeah, they tried it with me in 93. They abducted me. They made me pregnant, but I aborted. One time I went to the toilet, it come out. Uh, the embryo come out. It was a spontaneous abortion, and when I saw actually the beans have wings, was not like, you know, an embryo. It was not arms, it was wings. And before I flushed that out, I kind of look at it, I poke it. It was dead. It was small, about 2 cm, about 1 to 2 cm, very tiny, but they have wings. Very, very creepy. But back then I think, I don't care, just flush. So find themselves pregnant without sexual intercourse. Yeah, it's happened. It's happened. It happened to an Italian woman, and it happened to me in '83. Well, this is nothing new. Now, but my body rejected completely, reject the alien uh, zygotes or whatever. Now, the Mother Mary would have been considered a virgin, all right? If you do linguistic studies into the definition of virginity at that time, check it out. It meant never having become pregnant, not never having had sex. Oh, I understand. So that those time nobody know what the girls were doing. So anybody who didn't give birth was considered virgin, although they wanted a virgin. In fact, virgin is the one who never touched any man or any woman. Is a person who have never had any kind of coitus intercourse. See, if you say you are virgin but you have laid with a man or a woman, then you are not a virgin. Only because you didn't have intercourse, I mean the natural one, vagina with penis, but you have another type of sex, like, you know, the other way, right? And that one is not considered virgin anymore. Virgin is the one who abstain completely from sex. The firstborn child of a woman carried the genetic code of being the firstborn. Therefore, if a woman had a child, she is not a virgin because she has already had her firstborn. That's a ignorance. It's really ignorance. Virgin is the one who never touched anybody, which was considered to be the true child of her soul. The later interpretation of virginity was to keep you under control once again. It added to the mystery too. Oh yes, now what better way to keep a population in control than to control your most instinctive drive? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? It's good, what? It's good to be pure, to be celibate. It's so good, it feels great. If the sexual drive can be controlled, everything else can be too. That's good. So start by control yourself, your lower chakras, your root chakras. Do something about it. Work on it. Put your mind in something else, like intellect, mind, things of the mind, instead of the root chakras, the base chakra, right? So what's wrong in be virgin? How would you say that something is wrong if you are how to say that thing, addictive to sex? If you are addicted to sex, if you are addicted to any, the same things to be addicted to alcohol, to drugs, to medications, to internet. Luckily, I mean, not I come here to say some things or to post a video or complain in comments, whatever. But I'm not internet junkie. I have been, but not no. I have been in the distant past for some time, but now I'm free. I'm liberated. I come here more to express myself and to tell things that is very, very important for humankind. So if the sexual drive can be controlled, everything else can be to, yeah, that's good. This is what you've gotten yourself into. What you've created for yourself is a process of liberation. No, no liberation, no sex liberation here. Promiscuity is not the answer. It brings only disasters, and that it only brings the downfall, the decadency of society, unwanted pregnancy, um, people who are, let's say, people who become wayward, people filled with miasmas of the soul, people who become perverted, um, is, rapes, you see, pedophiles, um, bestiality, incestuality. All this is because of your inability to control your root chakras. So, based um, on inner sights, I would say no to promiscuity. If you must, I don't know, I don't know what to say. I think it's better you play with yourself. If you're really so desperate for sex, it's better the safer things for you to pray for yourself. Nowadays they have so many toys out there, sexual toys. Not me. I don't do this kind of thing because I feel myself too old already. I see I'm still 55-year-old. I complete my family and my mind is very old. My soul is very old. And I consider myself like I'm 100 years old or 150. I'm like a great ma, you see. So my soul is more to express and to try to make a better world for everybody, for the new generations. So no, I don't like this kind of thing anymore. So let's see, the late interpretation of virginity. Okay, okay, to self process of no, 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 better no, 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 no. Sexual things without um, breaks, without control is the destruction of society and the decadency. No, 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 no. As I said, I don't know. Nowadays, very difficult to find a partner. So I would advise people that they should homosexuality men with men. I don't know is that a problem. LGBT. I don't know. I'm not a lesbian. Also, I'm asexual. I don't like sexual means don't have quite a gender anymore. So but I don't know, this heterosexuality has caused a lot of destruction in the world, and those aliens are not helping. They are not helping to kill this energy, which has been so negative, so destructive, with so many unwanted pregnancy, unwanted abortions, um, diseases, venereal diseases that has plagued not just the mother, the father, the maker of the baby, but also the babies themselves. How many babies are born with herpes? Because the mother didn't know, but she was not conscious. She was being playing around, or the man passed to her. The man was playing around, and she just found a partner who was totally contaminated, you see, and passed to her. And without imagine the possibility of you to get what we call a possession. Yeah, possession. When you sleep with somebody who has been sleeping around, you are sleeping with all his or her partner, all right? And you are sleeping with all those negative energies that has been around all their partners. You understand what I mean? I try to say all the these spirits, I would say spirits. So they, during the coitus, the intercourse, those spirits jump from one person to another, and they will give you a lot of trouble in your life, like diseases, bad luck, this and that. So it's very crucial for you to maintain yourself pure and chaste. without the need of for the girls, the need of um, chastity belt. That's nonsense. You don't have to have chastity belt. That's no. That is misogynism. You know, we are not using this. Thanks God, you are not using this anymore. That's nonsense. You don't need chastity belt to understand that you need to preserve yourself, have dignity, keep yourself clean and chaste inside out for your own sake. Respect yourself. So this was a woman, because a woman suffers most. You see, many women now lost their lives, whether they are promiscuous or not, by deranged males who doesn't know how to keep um, their pants up. You see. So yeah, that's also in that sense. Then Mary had never had a child. She was a virgin in the oldest sense of the word. Therefore, the Immaculate Conception should be what you would consider artificial insemination by another consciousness. There are stories about angels visiting her. Those were the consciousness visiting her. Some of the other stuff in the story was added, but basically you have the consciousness that wants to be Jesus being put into her for the purpose of his incarnation on earth. And once that Mary from a long line of very spiritual people, when she selected, yes, yeah, the lineage, yeah, I believe so. She had a lineage which was not quite human but extraterrestrial as well. Yes, well, not selected. She chose it. She had been preparing herself for many, many lifetimes. Yeah, she also had a lineage of extraterrestrial, and she could have been. Yep, she have been Isis. Dum 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 dum. They are not telling, but I have to tell. So Jesus generics. What race was that implanted her? Think ano next. I knew that one was coming up. It was not just one race, but a genetic combination. Ano next is a combination, is a group, is a confederation. We'll go back to our card here, our chart here. The primary genetic combination is Syrian and Pleiadian. Now, the Pleiadians really don't like to talk about this. They are very sensitive about everything that they've done on Earth. They could be considered the interference, and it is interference now. Because you say Pleiadians doesn't mean that they have blue eyes, they are human. No, they are not humans. Some of those were not human. They also made part of the Anunnakis, okay? And they were not human. They were rather humanoids, but not humans. So it's a sore spot. That represented one Syrian past, Pleiadian future, and integration of those two energies. It was important that it occurred in that way. What's very interesting is the contemporary images of the Mother Mary. There, there's an image that has been photographed somewhere in Eastern Europe. If you compare the image to the photographs that Bill Mayer has taken of Pleiadians, they are nearly identical. No, Pleiadians can also, how to say, shapeshift. So I wouldn't buy that. The features are very delicate, very delicate. The earlobes are lower, the chin is pointed, the mouth is very small. Look like they are painting me out. It's not that a Pleiadian has appeared in the guise of a Mother Mary in Eastern Europe, but the area being highly Catholic or Christian has interpreted what they seem to be The Mother Mary one's eyes tell the truth. There's a difference there. So the Mother Mary was carrying a lot of the Pleiadian genetics. The Syrian genetics were put into her to combine with her Pleiadian genetics. In some ways, this was political in terms of deities at the time, because you have the struggle between the Lyrians and the Syrians that occurred on and off throughout history, each attempting to gain a foothold on the planet. This was the way for the Syrians to perhaps gain a little bit of foothold. It was like their last ditch effort. So let's resume again. Syrians and vegans are mostly those people from the east of the planet. They could be Semites, Afros, and Asiatics. Okay, and Orions also are mostly Asiatics. Okay, Orions. And I mean the soul, you understand, the spirit, not the body, but the soul. And um, the Occidental part, I'm not talking about the present current versions of people of in the Occident. Those are already hybrids or mixed up. Me being one, but I'm mostly white because my skin are very, very pale and I have a bit of light hair. So um, they are mostly hybrids now in the Americas and even in Europe. They vastly hybrid mixed people, but those are more Lyrans. Okay, most of us are mostly Lyrans in origin, and the Semites, the the Semites and the Afros are mostly of Syrians. That's why you see why there is Syria. You see the Syria, it is always in problem there. You see, always problem. There's no peace in their lives. Syria and the Middle East. Ah, they are from Syria. Okay, they are beautiful people. See, they are beautiful, but they come from their spirit, their lineage is from Sirius. Sirius, there's Sirius RABC. Perhaps they come from Sirius B. Okay, they are Sirius B lineage. Now the Orientals are Orion, mostly Orions. All the Asian Pacific, all these are Orions. The South Asians like Afghanistan, Pakistan, um, India are mixed here because some are serious and other are the vegans. Okay, they are vegans, and yeah, some of them, so the Hindus are from the Hindus constellation, the Hindu constellation. There's something like a Hindu constellation, but it's not near to Vega at all. But they are mostly Syrians and vegans. Okay, but the Europeans are mostly Lyrans in nature. So the way to see this perhaps gain a little bit of foothold, it was like their last ditch effort. Just share the earth, please. Stop the nonsense. Some get okay, though is be happy. You want the east, okay, stay there. The Jusans ones are shy anti-Sumeria, right? And those from the Lyrans uh, lineage, stop going to the east and make trouble there. Stay in your place in the Occident, and also don't allow others to come in and make mess in your place. Okay? Like my mother always tell me, every monkey must stay in their own tree, in their own branch. to avoid problems. That's how my mother always would tell me, and she was so right. If I only have listened to her. So, um, let's continue. This was the way for the Syrians to perhaps gain a little bit of foothold. It was like their last ditch effort. Oh, Syrians, okay, Syrians, okay. Implanting was just one level of the whole Syrian thing. Uh-huh. And some Afros who lives also under Agatha boast themselves that they have manipulated the white man DNA. I'm not sure, I'm not sure of this how true it could be, but it was the very Afro people who told this story. I have ever seen in 2000, 2010, 2011, around this time. I have heard they boasting how uh, there's a group of beings who still is on the Agatha, and they are Afros. Okay, dark skinned people, coney head, and um, bald. And the Jews claim to have manipulated. They come from Sirius, and they are responsible to manipulate the human's genome here. There and maybe there is another also from Syria evolved. Who knows, right? Uh, from Vega, Sirius, Lyra as well. I'm not sure, but who knows? They're also involved. There were other levels that could be considered to be altruistic. You have quite an interesting historical past, very colorful. We are going to take it up to the Middle Ages again, jumping around. So fast, I don't have much time. This mouse. The creation of the human biogenetic structure. The creation of the biogenetic structure. How was that done? What's Was it chemicals? Was it just for the body, for the soul as well? No, it's photonic. What's the makeup of the soul? Does it to have an equivalent of DNA coding? You are talking about the makeup of the human phototype created or not? Yes, both the body and the energy, that's the soul. Once that created as well, the souls were not created. No. The beings, the Lyrans and the Syrians who were involved in the genetic engineering of the earth humans. Okay? Above he said chat another thing, right? I say yeah, the Lyrans could have been involved as well. See, implanting was just one level of the whole Syrian thing. There were other levels that could be considered to be altruistic. You have quite interesting compared by colorful. Oh, the implant. I see. And who knows though is once those the Pleiadians who is involved with the genetic makeup. But some say it would, they are Anunnakis, but they are Anunnakis. I feel that they are the Anunnakis. Those beings are all Anunnakis because of confederation. Pleiadian genetics. The souls were not created, the beings, the Lyrans and the Syrians who were involved in the genetic engineering of the earth human were looking to create the perfect vehicle. Yeah, perfect vehicle. Look what happened now. A vehicle with the tires falling apart, the brake is faulty, that anytime we can just smash into nothing and just faint or die if a heart attack or a stroke. Um, and the engine, anytime else can stop like a heart. So for what? What have you done? You have destroyed, you aliens have destroyed our bodies, our original given for by the source. You have manipulated, you have played gods, and yet you have the faith to to blame our politicians alone and the elite. A body for themselves to incarnate into eventually. It's kind of like building your own car. Oh, great. Oh, that's not you who are driving this car. It's not you. It's our soul. Okay? And we suffer a lot. I myself have been having suffering from poor health. And it's very serious, very, very serious. And I don't get any help. I don't get any treatment. But I just try to maintain this car. I try to maintain the car yet. No, I make this car move. Say, you move it because I don't want you to break right now. I still need you to move around. So just be good car and continue. Because the health problems I have is very, very for another people, common people die. It's kidney failure, you see. My kidney, one of them is already totally destroyed because I scan, I know. The liver also, see, and other things. And I don't know how I'm still alive. Oh my God, I don't know. I don't even know whether I'm real or not. I'm real. I don't think. I don't think that I'm human even because nobody will survive all this. The kidney is totally damaged, the liver is damaged, and the other thing I have ovary problem. You see, very serious, and I'm still here. I'm still here. If one of the people already have died already, the doctor say, come for treatment. Your case is very serious, not gonna die. Have been how many years? From 2009 to 2020. Yeah, 11 years. 11 years. And I'm still here, no problem. I say, hey, I'm gonna regenerate the organs. I say, I'm gonna program you to regenerate again. I'm gonna regenerate your cells. And it work out, but it can return. It's not permanent. It can return if you don't take care of your diet, your sleeping pattern, your emotions. And when there's people around to destroy, to make you more, give you more problem, then it's more difficult. If you are alone, it's okay. But if a bad partner, bad sons and daughter, it won't help nothing. Not supportive people, not good people, just want to use you and then take chance on you instead of being grateful to you. See, all very evil reptilians. They are reptilians. I know because I have seen the vision, and yeah, the aliens they bring guys, they invite those people to our lives, souls to our lives. Reptilian grace. I'm not saying that it's my family, like my sisters, my brothers, my mother. Although I have a sister who is a very evil reptilian. That one is the number five, your older sister. I have five older sisters. So it's number five. She's terrible, terrible, terrible. She's a reptilian. I can feel her because she even told me recently. She said that she loved to feed her lizard friend. I was astonished when she said that, and she hates me and she wants me dead. Dead. She already killed one with bad energy. The one who I'm most attracted to. That one was a feline. I know she was a feline because I saw her in a vision with felines. And this feline now come to me as a baby cocoy. How this life is so fun. And yeah, my sister, she was a feline. She passed away last year. I loved her. Also, I pray to this one who is a reptilian. I pray to her and I wish her the best. And if she, anytime she need me, I'm there for her. But I don't know my lineage. Maybe I'm Lyra, but maybe I'm Pleiadian or Lyra. I don't know. Maybe, but no. But I'm a Lupina. Lupina is a wolf. I'm a wolf. I'm not quite a human. I'm a wolf. I feel that I come from canine. The constellation Canis. I'm a bitch. I am yeah. I'm a wolf. I'm not quite a human. So they wanted to start from scratch, build the car and be the driver of the car. So the souls were already in existence. Okay, so come and I drive the car for you to see how is nice this broken, what they call that, those old car from the 30s, I guess. I don't know, those 18th century car. I don't know the name, I forgot. I know in Portuguese. There's an old car, one of the first car once created by Ford, North America. That one, yeah, we just have this like the Flintstones car, if you all those things, the accelerator, all the brake, the engine, it's not running up. That's how I see my body right now, and I'm still pushing around. I don't care. You have be good, huh? I love you, and you're gonna live for more 50 years, okay? And after that, nicely you're gonna die in your place of birth, okay, darling? So they wanted to start from scratch with you come and drive this old car. So the souls were already in existence. This is why you say you are them. You are them because you were them. So for themselves incarnation, interventionally it's kind of the like building your own car. They want to start from scratch, build the car, and I'll be the driver of the car. So the souls were already in existence, created by who? Created by the Almighty God, created by the Supreme Beings, created by the Source. This is why we say you are them, because you were them. The ETs we are talking about now, who are fighting amongst themselves, are reincarnationally you. This is how you are bringing about the transformation and integration on your planet. You have achieved what you set out to do, the creation of the Terran race on Earth. And then the incarnation in their race in order to work out the problems of your forefathers. Why must I pay for my forefathers, for my ancestral? I have nothing to do with their karma. I have nothing to do with their sins, their mistakes. Each one for themselves, but you are put it as a duty for us to pay for our ancestral, and that's not right. It's not right. You have to stop that. In terms of the actual genetic work, there was an indigenous Terran species on Earth, the primates. Mm. Throughout the primate development, there were periods of time when genetics was inserted to speed up the process. But it wasn't until Neanderthal when things went crazy a little bit in a positive way. So the Neanderthal or the indigenous people, and I do have Neanderthal in me, in my genetic makeup, the body makeup. There began an explosion of growth, and it was at that time they guided humankind into Cro-Magnon man. That's where the whole missing link idea began. The missing link was the time period in which your development was extremely accelerated. Your anthropologist can't figure out what happened during the period, because it doesn't fit in of their theories. The most obvious thing is that you had help, but maybe they are not ready for that one yet. So the vehicle became prepared. Then the vehicle was given an installment of extraterrestrial genetics. Oh, that sucks. No wonder it sucks. What we speak of, though it may seem fantastic to many of you, it's commonplace out there in the universe. You hybridized plants on your planet. Yeah, I did that. Was creating new forms of food. This is a natural process of evolution. Yeah, and of creativity on your own. Be independent and renovate, revolutionary, and you'll be out there someday doing this type of thing. You'll do it differently from your forefathers, we assure you, but it's part of evolution. Evolution has been frequently defined as occurring with no outside stimulus, but outside stimulus is part of evolution, so perhaps a new definition of the idea of evolution would assist you. There was an infusion of the extraterrestrial genetics into the developing primate on Earth. Therefore, you had Homo sapiens. The whole Garden of Eden story is a symbolic representation of your Terran species leap from second to third density. So Darwin was right, after all. However, I don't know, because there's Homo sapiens is this current version of humanity. However, there were hominids, um, Neanderthal, Homo erectus, all that, right? So I don't think that they come from monks. Those aliens are lying here. Someone is lying. What they did was mixing um, our current versions of Homo sapiens too with the primates. However, the indigenous um, species of Terrans were not primates, not at all. But what they did how to say what they did was to distort everything. You see, they mess up with our DNA, our indigenous DNA, our primordial DNA, and create this failure that is called this Homo sapiens 2. We have been very general here because we have told this story before. It is available on tape if you would like to hear it in detail. That's how the race progressed into the prototype, and then into the human kicked out of the Garden of Eden, or alien story to justify what they have done and to fool humankind, becoming responsible for themselves. Until the prehistoric time you are talking about, there was no side stimulus. It was just natural progression. The earth, yes, we would say it was a very ancient time when the vegans were here. They did a little bit of terraforming, shall we say, but that was not really the major project that the Lyrans took on later. So the vegan paved the way for the Lyrans to come and continue a major project. The soul coding. What reincarnates? The I who was me then and who will be me in the future perhaps both my soul and my physical genetic representation. But that original soul, unaffected by genetic code, encoding, has its own encoding. Where does that come from? From the source, and why should it be affected by the earthly coding in our next reincarnation? Why should be affected by the earth code? Hey, what affects only your body and the light body that comes together, but not your soul. Your soul still is original from the source. In your conscience is the original thing. That's what matters. The body can change. Like I have had many reincarnation, like in ancient Egypt. I have some in Europe. I have some in the Atlantis time. The time of Atlantis, I was there. Uh, One in Europe, I was killed. I was killed in Europe. Yeah, in the no, I have several in Europe. One I was with Alexander the Great. The Great, I was a man, and uh, one in Palestine. I had some in Uranus. So that's it. What's changed is your physical body, nothing else on that code. Good question. Force a little bit of metaphysics here. Let's say that the oversoul is the palm of the hand. The fingers are the lifetimes of incarnations, or the fragments, the personalities of fragments. Now, the oversoul, which is your lineage, the oversoul here would be your lineage, from which constellation, which galaxy, which people, blah 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 blah. So the oversoul knows the entire story and dictates what you are going to do. Yeah, because we are controlled by you aliens. The oversouls are the aliens, okay? That's what they try to say. Each of your group here has a lineage. So that's your source. What? What? You are not talking about the absolute original source, not the absolute. You are talking about the fragments of the original source here, aliens. You are not telling the entire truth. Oversoul is not the primordial source. It's just the source being separated from itself, just like a nucleus. Imagine a cell inside. If you are a scientist or you are into biology, you can see that the cells has nucleus. I know because in my past lifetime I was scientist. I have been scientist as well, and I never been to school to this school, and I know that inside the cells there's nucleus, right? So that is it. Uh, the nucleus here is all that is, and then the cells is all the part of that who things that is the nucleus, you see. So that's it. The aliens are just the oversoul, and we also are the parts of the aliens who are part of the original source, the infinite source, the prime creator. Okay, just imagining a tree, and the tree has its branches, its twigs, its leaves, and the aliens will be the source. It will be the root of that tree. Then there is the trunk. The trunk is the part of all the creation, and then the aliens will be the oversouls, which is the leaves, and then we will be its branches. Understand? Will be the twigs of this oversoul. It's the leaf, it's the aliens, There's nothing more that I could describe, no other analogy. So you'll see that's how it happened, but how it is, but it doesn't mean that the primordial source are the aliens. No, they are just creatures as we are. That the source that made you Lyran, Syrian, and Terran to progress. No, 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 no. They are not the source, but they just borrow their DNA. Yeah, DNA. And they are talking about our physical body and a bit of the light, but they're not talking about the conscience, the soul, which is from the source, the infinite creator. Okay? Do you understand? Follow? That's simple to follow. Very easy. Very easy conversation here. Uh, what they say is that it's just like me. Okay, I have children if I'm man. So my children, I'm the source of my children. But before me, come my ancestral, my parents, my grandparents, so on and so forth, until the first one come up to point zero, square one, right? My former ancestral. And that's what I'm talking about here. Those are just, let's say, our parents. They are our parents, but they are not our gods. Okay, they are just our parents, our genetical parents. Genetics genetics has been considered a physical thing. It's in your genes. Your genetic coding is in your DNA or divine natural ordinance. Now, there is etheric DNA. Yeah, see what I say? Everything I say is right, and I didn't read about it. I just think, and I bring this through. So, etheric DNA, for lack of another term. So, that's mean what? Huh? Because we are made up of many parts. We are the mind, which is an entity by itself, made of photons, electric circuits, and then comes the causal body, which the causal body will be all the things that you did. Is going to that body to be judged, I would say. That's the causal body, and then we still carry the etheric body. The etheric body is the one that you use to travel after death, okay? And that one, the etheric body, the one you use for travel, the ghost is the one that still has the aliens DNA in it. And this body, this physical, the dense part, the matter, also has alien DNA in it. However, the soul belongs to the source. The conscience, which is yet another thing, another entity in itself, too, is it comes from the source. Okay, understand? So that exists within the matrices of your soul or your oversoul's energy. The matrices of your soul or your oversouls. The oversouls is the lineage that we carry from the aliens or the etheric body. Okay? This represents your past, your future, and your present, all wrapped up into one idea. And when I think of this, I think of I just like a library which preserves all the archives from the past, present, and future. Is encoded by light frequencies. This is what dictates what attracts you to a certain type of a body. When you want to come into a lifetime, there will be various connections with the different bodies on earth. If you want to incarnate as a black person, maybe there have been lifetimes as other black people, and you want to resolve them, that's one idea. That's on the earth level. Oh, God, so understand now. If you come as, let's say, a white person, if you want, or black, or even Asian, if you want to incarnate in this body, maybe there has been lifetimes that you have as the type of ethnic group. Like I have been in Egypt, I have been in Europe, I'm a international um, being. So I don't remember I have been in Egypt and I was a brown man, not black but brown, like unity, something like that. And I was involved with the pharaohs. I was the son of the pharaoh, and I saw myself with a lot of girls, beautiful girls, very tall, with uh, very long hair in trance, black hair in trance. They were tall, statuesque, very tall girls. And this time they wear one kind of attire that was like a bikini, but it's not quite a bikini, but they were skimpy, very skimpy. And they wore that thing that those time, you see, not it's not modern. I saw them wearing those times, and that time coincided with the cavemen. There's still cavemen. I saw cavemen walking with a sack clothes and kind of things on the back. One kind of very big trunk. I don't know, one kind of stick, but very thick from the trees. And there were that moving kind of bridges. In that time already existed. I saw those bridges and the cave people walking there. And I was an Egyptian guy. I was the son of the pharaoh, so I was a prince. I have been there. And yeah, I have been to Europe and I have been in America. And the recently ones was in that one here, Atlantis. Atlantis was my recent reincarnation. It's been many years before I decided to return. So there are other levels that represent the identity of source on an etheric genetic level that will dictate your experiences and your genetic evolution. Not against your will, but as a reflection of your will. A reflection, no, I understand, is a reflection of your will through eyes. Tell the truth, because I can understand what you are trying to say. And not only your genetic evolution on Earth, but your metagenetic evolution. That means the evolution that you have had in Saturn and Uranus and Jupiter and Neptune, etc. All these counts. And after you die, you're gonna have some stopover in Saturn, in um, Neptune, in Uranus, in all of these places or planes of existence. You're gonna gain insights. You see, uh, um, before they will locate you to dense material life, or let's say reincarnation in a dense 3D 4D form. So the genetic evolution and 4D form is not very dense. Is the level of the mental um, the mental level of existence. The genetic evolution of you as a light being. Originally, once this etheric DNA created by someone, some energy form, of course. No, not outside of you. We've described the whole idea of the dimensional infusion. Once, which was your emergency to this reality that you all share? Wait a minute. Okay, when you say no, not outside of you, you mean because you are directing, they are describing us as our oversouls. Who are our oversoul? Is our alien lineage, right? So, they, when they say that, they mean that not outside of our lineage, but it's yet still it was the aliens' idea to create this DNA, this etheric DNA. It was their idea, nevertheless. Okay, but they don't explain, they hide. They always hide the truth. They do not give details, concise ones. We've described the whole idea of the dimensional infusion, which was your emergency into this reality that you all share. You came from a point of integration in the reality of separation. When you fragmented, it was like the shattering of a mirror. And now they are talking about who? The source that we call God. You brought with you the original stuff that you were part of, and that is part of your identity. Your experiences here alter your identity. They change it, expand it. So it's not that someone else created you, but that who you are inherently created. The codes that we speak of is a reflection of you rather than a blueprint about you. And what they try to say here is that nobody else created the eyes because we create ourselves because we are minuscule part of the source which we call God. Okay, this is what they try to say. Mhm. So a reflection of you, who we are, rather than a blueprint about you. But now we are talking about. I know that God is energy. We are part God through, but we are talking about here. When they say me, they are talking about the material, the let's say the personality, the character, the script that you use to act, I would say act in a stage of life, of existence, of experiences, etc. This is what they mean about our character, okay? This is what the guys mean, not the aliens. The aliens doesn't say, oh, they are talking about in a metaphysical, spiritual way, but the guy are more into materialism, so he just talk about when they say the me, I, he means this matter, the body which we carry. We carry. Another thing that many people don't understand is that the soul does not, um, the body does not carry the soul. The soul is not in, but it's outside the body. So logically and literally, we, which is the soul, is carrying the body, not the other way how religions has portrayed. Okay, so people worship a god or pray to a god, whether it's an image of a god or is a Buddha, or even back then they tap in and get results. The god is just something that they made. No, they made, when they say they mean include you aliens. They include the aliens that they made, the aliens and the humans created. So I do see God is just like connect us to energy that one was able to tap into. When one prays to a God, and let's say the prayer is answered, the person needs that figure, because at that time in their lives they do not realize that what they are praying to is a mirror of your reflexes. Meaning you pray to your God, actually is turning back to you. You understand? Because you see yourself on the mirror of your own prayers, and it makes sense. This is what I said to an idiot here who's trying to convert me to Islam. Okay, I tell this to him, and he doesn't, because he's trying to convert me back. I already left, and he's trying to convert me back, and I try to reason out with him, but the reason out with primate is very hard. So I call him a monkey, and I told him that this God doesn't make any miracle. When we tap into ourselves to look for heal or any type of emotional, physical, whatever, you are tapping into your own conscience. So when a miracle happens in your life, it's your own will to heal yourself. Okay, it's not a outside of you, it's not a being outside of you, it's not a Jesus, it's not an Allah, it's not a Shiva, it's not a Hanuman, is not a Buddha. It's a God within you. You understand? It's the God within you. The Chinese, they already say it is the Tao, because it's the all. It's the reflections inside of you. Okay? So they are only looking at themselves. So it serves a function for them to do that. But the evolutionary process is such that eventually there will be a recognition that you are only looking in the mirror and seeing yourselves. Here's an interesting thought. Let's say that someone makes up a god and they call it Bob. Oh my God, the idiot that I got married with, his nickname was Bob Cat. The god of Bob. And then now we begin to believe in Bob. No, I don't believe in Bob. In fact, Bob is a charlatan. He's a fool. Because of the belief in Bob, Bob is created. Yeah, if you give power to Bob, Bob will try to control you and convert you to worship him. So Bob has the choice of becoming self-aware. And full of egotism about him. But he doesn't have to. He can exist only as a projection of the people who believe in him. It's just like people has the power that you give them, and the same things are your gods and your projections about it. Do you understand? A thing has the power which you put forth, which you gave them. Understand? So when you do that, you give your power away, and you are left without any power until you claim it back. Do you understand? So in which case it's like a two-dimensional image. To the people who believe in him, Bob is very real, and you could prove the existence of Bob. Yeah, Bob is really real and is a fool, and more fool who listens to Bob and obey Bob. Evolution always has wild cards. This is a case where you may actually be able to watch the birth of a new entity, because though the natural evolution of Bob's existence, Bob may become self-aware. If that's the case, he becomes a true being and not just a projection of those who believe in him. Because you give him power, and he exists as long as you give him power. Once you say, that's it, Bob, You're not going to control me anymore. You're not in my mind anymore. And then I'm not going to give you the power, sell this all power for sheep and obey you. And you are no more existent. It will dissipate. You follow? It will just smash itself in dissolution. So, for all intents and purposes, those who believe in Bob will know that Bob exists because Bob will be very real for them, and that is really is no difference that he's a projection. Do you follow? So you see, it's just like I'll say why religions still thrives and proliferate. Why? Because of the mass conscience, the collective conscience. That's why religions need more and more and more and millions of followers. Otherwise, religions will crumble. Do you understand? Religions will cease to exist. If tomorrow there will be no more people who gather in communion to pray for one imaginary God which lies inside of you, there will be no more religion. That's why they need to recruit more and more and more and more devotees and followers. Okay? And there really is no difference that he's a projection. Do you follow? Well, actually, we are all projects of some sort of another, aren't we? We were talking about the dimension infusion. Sometimes people ask, what happened before that? Before the dimensional infusion, you can liken that to your being one big Bob, that is the prime source. Okay, Bob became self-aware, which was the prime source, and the self-awareness was so exciting and so igniting that in his excitement he burst and fragmented itself. There is a video there that will come out soon about this, about the source. That's one way of looking at it. But that's how the creation of an entity can occur. That means you create archetype of a god, semi gods. You understand? When you break the source into fragments and you create your own archetype, you create your personal god. Jesus, Allah, um, Shiva, Buddha, whatever, in the Afro mythology as well. Um, the Greek mythology also have many, Persephone, who else? Pan, Perseus, Zeus, um, Minerva. We have some in the Romans mythology also, like Diana. Who else? Mercury. Um, who else? Um, there's many. Who the thing on the sea? The I forget. That one's on the god, sea god. That is a Roman god. There's many. So all these are type which you create, okay? But then you can go one step further and ask, where did the source come from? Right? It came from itself. Well, it's like the devil then too. Came from itself? Well, it's like the devil. No, the devil come from the source as well. When I was 12-year old, I always talk about, I sit down to meditate, to think about it. There's a possibility. I would say, okay, I'm gonna keep myself still, and I'm gonna see if I'm gonna stop this mind from thinking, and then I will go to point zero to find out the source, who is the real God, because I'm not convinced about this God here, God there. You understand? God of the charge, this and that. I want to find out more. So I sit down and then I stop my thinking. And I will see that there is no ending. No ending. And it was like a swirl. It's just like something oscillating like this, like spirals in my mind when I stop to think about it. You see? So all this is conscience, and God is energy conscience. Do you understand? And that's how I came to know that God is actually a conscience, able to multiply, to fragment itself in many, many splendid way. So when you create your own archetype, yeah, it's come from God. So okay, worship, but what you cannot is fight for it, kill and die for it. You cannot do it. But you can, yeah, you can create your own personal God, personalize it, okay? If it serves you, serve your Teo culture. I would say it's a Teo culture, okay? So if you think it's okay for you, go ahead, continue. There's nothing quite wrong with it, but yeah, the source is that's non-real, absolute, a unique, defined name for it. That's one way of look at it, but that's how the creation of any Tai Chi can occur. But then you can go and say, okay, the devil was created by the source friendly. The devil has a lot of power because he has been given it. My gosh, now I'm speechless. On the devil say such a thing. I know, yeah, I know it has power, but the power that you gives to him, the day you say, hey, you doesn't exist and you are no better than me. You understand? I am no better than you. You all come the source. Now bye bye. You're now gonna be you're gonna be erased from my mind. Bye bye devil. You go. It's just like that. It's all a figment of your imagination. It exists, yes. Why? Because you give them thought, you give them form. And when you have faith, faith is all about form. It's all about create. All about creations. It's difficult for you to personalize, to materialize it. It's difficult, but it can bring it to form when you gather in communion in collective conscience to create it. Then it will get, get a form, okay? To gain a form. The devil has a lot of power because it has been given it. That's the only reason why. So your church is being very real when they say the devil exists. But does the devil have an existence outside of it? Maybe not with this name devil, Satan, no. But there is another form of it. Yeah. I mean, for the religionists, not just the church, the temple, the the masjid, mosques, they will call devil, Satan, this and that. But outside there, there's another name for it as well. So nothing changes actually, and it has the power that it you gives them. Okay, I would say that he has power over those that believe in his power. They give it to him. They put the power in his hands. How does that relate to miracles such as the water of Lourdes, Saint Teresa, Saint Francis of Assisi, and Bernadette? Miracles are self-generating. Miracles occur because the seeker believes they need something and can't allow themselves to give them what they need. Therefore, the miracle will come in the form that is most comfortable for the individuals of a certain religion. Miracles come in the form they are comfortable with for some of the more fundamentalist Christians again. It comes in the form of a faith, healing. It is what you believe in. Especially in collective mass. Miracles do not happen outside of you. Exactly. And that's how I heal myself. You are the generator of them. Exactly. It's up to you whether you want to create so it look like you have nothing to do with it. Mm, yeah, in the power of nature, like plants. I mean, um, in the case of health problems, you can heal with the power of nature if you herbs. Let's say that Bernadette of St. Francis has nothing to do with working any of these miracles outside of the fact they are in the mirror. They are the mirror. They are also the channel through which the energy may flow. Because you created. Those whom you have deified may actually be the channel for energy to flow through from other people rather than themselves. But if you are just a sick person and you have a miracle, it's for you rather than you're channeling for others. Do you see what I mean? Yeah, of course, we are sick, we do I think for us, a miracle for us, not from others that we channeling. Well, I healed myself in a very interesting situation. When I asked about it, I was told that it was my soul energy that healed me. Yes. Exactly. Evidently, but no, the religion is to say, God, you don't pray for God. That's why this and that. You have to pray for God for uh, healing. Yeah, sure, but which God? Your God? Your archetype- archetypal God? No, thanks. I don't need that. I have my own God's source, and I can tap into it, which come from my own conscience. You see, then how I do all the healings on myself. Evidently, your soul energy heals you when your ego is looking in the other direction, because the ego doesn't believe in that sort of thing. Yeah, it's true. So just see, but I use egos. I say, hey, I'm gonna tomorrow. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna heal, and a bingo, I get healed. Yes, exactly. You just said, oh, nothing happens outside of yourself. Absolutely not. Nothing to do with the ego, though. Just the, I mean, when it comes to matter of the body based on experiences, on my own experiences, I would say that the ego sometimes save. I always say that the ego saves you because you are giving value to your body, because you need it as a vehicle from which you can express or have an experience here, and that you're gonna need the ego for it. Do you understand? Especially so when you are attacked from external influences or you are having a psychic attack, you're gonna need your ego. You're not gonna need the other gods, whatever type of gods or other sources. You yourself can tap into your own soul and use also your ego to heal yourself. That's how I heal myself. Yes, exactly. Just say nothing. Yeah, of course, it's true. Nothing from outside of us can heal us. So if we take responsibility for, let's say, fragments of the source, and you want to be the catalyst to do this thing, then the process is for us to get rid of our ego. Nothing to do with this. Stop saying, oh, don't have to have egos, this and that. There's nonsense. There's nonsense. If you let it go, your ego, something else comes and take away your body. Okay? Because the ego is already a representation here, is your character, your personality. Your ego sometimes saves you so that we can then put out the fires and create and help the people of Bangladesh and stop crack babies from being born addicted. All of that. There's some sort of process about getting the ego out of the way and allowing ourselves to be the channel for healing on this life. There's no sense of the ego, it's a religious thing. The man here, I already once figured out that he could be from the east part of the planet. Nothing to do with ego, just relax. Exactly. No, no, exactly. Without the ego, something when you let go your ego and you lower your guard, it's just like destroy your fortress. They come, they find you off guard, and that's when you attack. They will attack you. Okay, all your enemies, all your etheric enemies. I know, I've been there. To sort of somehow focus all these people who do have serious beliefs in miracles so that the energy can flow and join ours and create some kind of. Exactly. There's nothing wrong in believing in miracles. You can coexist totally harmoniously with fundamentalist Christians. Why Christians again? They have so many multi-religions in this planet. It must be Christian, Christian, Christian. Lyran, Rain, Lyrans. Europeans, Europeans, Europeans. What this? Why you just pick up certain people? Some kind of racist? Or what? Who believe in miracles. If you both allow the ego to step out of the way, they will create the miracles seemingly outside of them, and you will create the miracles for yourself. No, I use my egos to heal myself. That's not true. I don't want them to catch me off guard. And you both accept each other. It's not a matter of belief, it's a matter of allowing. That's the whole key. No, I will not let go my ego so as to be caught off guard. No, thanks, but no thanks. There's enough space for consistency to take place for all energy, all races. Oh yes, of course. If the earth is a central, let's say, library of experiences, then all the other peoples are welcome here. This is a global world, and we need to symbiotically coexist together. Even from the very beginning, why did the struggle for domination occur? Once it's territorial, it was territorial. We'll explain a little bit about the dynamics of it. You are asking why there's conflict if the realization is that there's enough to go around. The nature of polarity in your universe is such universe, and when it says universe doesn't mean earth alone. Universe is a universe of creation which is made up of many planets adjacent, okay, not exclusively how to say earth alone, such that it takes the form of service to others or service to self, or positive and negative. Negative can be equated with service to self. Since when service to self is negative, I mean, if you, let's say an example, you have been all your life having service to others, just dedicate yourself to others, sacrifice for others, and all you have gotten was kick in the backside. Okay, ungratefulness, uh, very egotistical people, ungrateful, mean, cruel people, and then you decided, hey, that's enough. Now I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna have service for myself. I'm gonna take care of myself, my character, my personality, which is my body and my ego now. It's enough. I have done this game. I'm tired of this game. Okay? So what's wrong in that? There's nothing wrong, because sometimes you if you have to do everything that the other people want, you become a slave to those people. They will take advantage of you. Nobody can help you but yourself, unless you have people who you can rely on. You can lean on them. You can get support from them. You see, you have allies. If you are alone, then you need to you have to rely on yourself. And when you become too given to other people, they will not recognize it. They will not be grateful. They take chance on you. They will abuse your kindness. And there's the time when you say enough is enough. Now it's time to take care of myself. Especially if you were born in the chart of Virgo. Virgo is a zodiacal sign that has this destiny to care, and forget about themselves. But come a time when you get tired of this game. Especially so when you are being abused by others because you have been too stupid, too giving, and not taking back. Do you understand what I mean? So there's a time when negative can be good if it is mean you are taking care of yourself. In each case, it's not negative but something positive because you are doing to yourself. And without having for yourself, you cannot give to others. You need to have to give back because you cannot give that which you lack. Makes logic and sense, right? So negative can be quite that's because of the energy dynamic. That's nonsense. Don't bring this nonsense of philosophies and the religions here. So you talk bad about religion, but you do the same thing. And how many religion people are so damned selfish. They don't care for themselves, but when they are in congregation, oh my God, they are so sin. Oh, I'm gonna give service to others just to show off to publics. You know, the public uh, before the public's face, they are so giving, they are so show off, just like an aquarium. But once they are in four walls, my God, you're gonna see the true face of that being. Selfish, demanding, egotistical meaning inside the four walls within the family. Yeah, I know. Service to self is contractive, contracted in on itself. Service to others is expansive, expanded outward, but at the end you are going to be scratching your head, wondering what one thing has to do with another. We will clarify. No, no sense. You don't need to teach me because uh, all the wolf knows its way, know which way to the mountains. Okay, all the wolves know wolves. Lamb's blood, cattle mutilations, and the AIDS virus. The scenario is that you have a lot of dead firstborn Egyptians and no dead firstborn Hebrews. Hmm? Huh? A lot of dead firstborn Egyptians and no dead firstborn Hebrews who had drunk the lamb's blood. Cut to the present day, you have on your planet what you call the AIDS virus. And oh, today's COVID has been 11 years ago. 11 years ago, then something is COVID, the black go. Now we have COVID, which is the 4G or this electromagnetic radiation. Any of you that have researched, they have found that the AIDS virus is a combination of a sheep and a cow retrovirus. It has connection there. Huh? Sheep and cow, and how come people eat these animals as well? And some say it is from the primate. I think something fishy here can be a lie sometimes. I would think that's come from primates. There's connection there. In fact, the virus can be grown in the belly of these animals. Lamb, sheep, alright? Now, cut to the scenarios that were active in the 70s, cattle and sheep mutilations. Are we putting the pieces together? In the 1970s, you find out the outbreak of AIDS. And the 1970s, my God, you find a preponderancy of cattle and sheep mutilations in which the blood is drained. We would say that the plague that hit the Egyptians during this time and that passed over the Hebrews was a similarly engineered virus, but a more potent one because it struck and killed right away. Ebola. As you know, if you have a snake bite, one antidote is small portion of the snake venom. You can get the antidote by understanding the chemical components of the thing that's poisoning you. So they drink the lamb's blood prepared in a certain way, which counteract this very potent virus that was acting as a plague. Okay. Cut back to present day, this plague is still being used in biological warfare and is still active on your planet. Now you have COVID, they have upgraded. There are forces on your planet who have been attempting to find once again an antidote. As well as the forces on your planet attempt to find a way to recreate the potent virus from the Egyptians' times. So again, you have two different forces fighting each other. One is trying to find a cure, and the other is trying to find a way to obtain it and wipe out a lot of people. That's the purpose of the cattle and sheep mutilations. Mostly research attempting to synthesize these chemicals. It doesn't have to do with it is who are wanting to eat you, who are trying to drain blood for their nourishment. Nothing like that. That's more symbolic of the memory of the drinking of the blood way back when. Is it our planet's Homo sapiens who are doing this? No sense. Homo sapiens doing what? The mutilation? Yes, it's the aliens and the others in power who are representative of those beings. Who are you say is doing the mutilations? Stop being stupid, guy, man. We define mutilations. Ever since the 70s, there has been a great awareness of cattle and sheep mutilations, which seem to have used laser beams or instruments you do not possess on your planet. Those are aliens. And the idiots here, Homo sapiens. What an idiot. Very clean incisions, and most of the time the blood is completely drained from the animal. We are saying that there are different groups doing it. Some are humans, Homo sapiens who walk for those aliens, and some are extraterrestrial, so it's not clear cut. Humans and ETs on both sides. Are those extraterrestrial groups associated with those on our planet like the Greys, or are we talking of planet now? We are talking of planet, of world, descendants of those who still think there's a territorial dispute going on, or those in power. There are extraterrestrials as well as humans who are attempting to find the antidote. There are extraterrestrials as well as negatively oriented human groups who are attempting to use the virus. So if you got them on both sides, we do not perceive that you are going to create a reality in which the AIDS virus is going to wipe you out. No, it did not. Neither did the COVID. Humans are very potent. If you remember earlier in this session we're talking about how emotional states like fear can trigger certain things like the latent code for monogamy. Emotional states can lower the resistance of the immune system. Exactly. And a live with toxic people is the key for you to die slowly. Mark my words, you live with toxic people, they will drain your energy slowly. This is becoming fact on your planet, but they do not yet understand the intricacies of it. If your population is kept in fear, you can trigger the immune system to accept a foreign virus to become embedded in you. If you are as a population transmute your fear, if you as a population transmute your fear, this virus or viruses will not be able to touch you. Yeah, but all this hysteria. Oh, let's go and buy um, toilet paper. Oh, there's COVID there. Let's wear the mask. Let's keep a distance. And this go on and on and on. This is only fomenting fears, and then make things materialize into reality. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. This is why this whole challenge right now is so important for you, because you not only save your skin, you also become liberated as beings on the planet. But all that, those same people who are saying it now, right now, these things, are the one who talk differently about the COVID-19. This person says that the COVID-19 is there to waking up people, you know, to show people what really matters in this planet and blah blah blah. But they don't see the other side of COVID as well, that it was purposely um, sprayed for the people to get it in the first place by using those black goo and the nanotechnologies, okay? And the fear that is generating, it's the fear that's generating people. But lucky, many people are waking up. Not everybody's falling up. Not everybody's falling for it. We'll never, ever, ever give power to the idea that someone's out to get you. But what about getting eyes off God? I'm talking about getting eyes off God here. If you have this mentality that nobody's there out to getting eyes, and then in reality it is, then how? It's just like the man who think that everything was okay. He relaxed, he let the door open. Thieves come in, robbed him, and kill his family. You have created this scenario for very direct purposes and understandings. You will gain out of these scenarios what you have set out to gain. You may gain it quickly or it may take a long time. That's really up to you. But no one, no evil force is putting anything over on you. I don't believe. Then why you said earlier that there is evil forces, aliens, evil forces? You join up if their seedlings, their representative here on Earth. How to understand you, man? You are so inconsistent. You are not sincere. You are being flip flopping and bipolar. This is your game, and you are all chess pieces. At one session, we were talking about disease and not illness, and how quickly it can be cured if you deal with why you created it. When I ask it, there's no sense. You create the disease, you put the code there on the body, but it's activated once you put your guard down, like you have fear of something, you feel something, somebody stab you, you take the best of yourself, you become negative. Then when the code will activate, tell the truth, okay, and then you become sick, you fall ill, but you still can regenerate if you just give the middle finger and send everybody and everything goes to hell. When asked if that included cancer, you reply once yes. When I asked about AIDS, you reply was if you deal with the source of it. I asked what anyone could wish to experience through AIDS. Your reply was total vulnerability. So those who wish to experience total vulnerability here can do so now in this way. Vulnerability replayed. Yes, just look at the idea of vulnerability, the immune system. When your immune system down, you are totally vulnerable. So we would absolutely agree with you. It's created now because there's a reason for it to be created here now. Oh, now you will say, huh? Slowly, slowly let it go. You remove the cat's ears from the basket, then after that the tails, and finally the whole cats come up from the basket. It's a very important process you are going through, even though we understand that all of you value your physical lives, etc. I value, but because I don't want to die here, I don't want to give chance to the devils. The end of your physical life is not the end of your existence, of course not, but there is something called pride, self-pride, not to die in certain place. There is greater good being accomplished by the individuals who choose to exit the plane in this fashion. And this scenario in the present is also linked to the scenario during the Moses time. as we were just sharing with you, what you are doing now is cleansing the whole earlier scenario. Those wars, the idea that some of you must be saved and some not. All of those scenarios are necessary to be cleansed. If anyone into genetics or medicine listens to this tape and does some research, pulling out the ancient biblical texts that talk about the preparation of the lamb, if they really want to take it seriously, they will find connections. We guarantee you. You may actually be able to find an antidote. We understand that this information may stretch the imaginary for men. I think the antidote is inside the cells. All the antidote for cancer, for immune system diseases, for viruses, Ebola, AIDS, are all inside of you. The more you think about it, the more sense it is going to make. This scenario is something that's been around for a long time, and it has been triggered whenever humanity wished to create a shot in the army for whatever reason. The real lesson, empowerment in is, humanity wished to create a shot in the army, means vaccine, so that they will implant people here, the cattle move. The real lesson, empowerment and ease. It has a purpose of being a synchronistic with those who need to have that experience. Then it has its own natural outgoing. So why should anybody really be trying to come up with an antidote? The ultimate goal is not to find the antidote, but to come to terms with the idea of your all empowerment and know that you need to not create learning a lesson in a painful way. Mm. So, what he's trying to say here that we need to empower ourselves in a collective way, and we need to create the learning, the knowledge, so that knowledge is the weapon to fight all this. You see, because knowledge is golden, and with knowledge we're gonna be set free from this trap that we are in. Otherwise, if you don't look for knowledge, you're gonna learn a lesson a very painful way indeed, because you're gonna put our power into others' hands. You follow? So you can discover this for yourself by finding an antidote, which is what you did for polio, for example. Some individuals may choose not to do it their way, and that's quite all right also. It's really up to the individual and the society to make choices about how they want to manifest it. A lot of the AIDS research is being done in terms of sound vibrations. Mm. The shattering of the virus. We also say that should you wish to wait it out, the virus will naturally mutate into a dormant stage and go into remission. That's what happened to cancer when you do um, a healing, self-healing. It doesn't really cure 100%. It's just going into remission, but it can be activated at any given time if you don't take care of your body, okay? Your mind, of course. And um, why they make this polio, this why they make this disease for the aliens? I mean, they give polio, they give what else? Measles, measles, all that, just so to give shot to the children and make the children like an amoeba. They are the disease, and they pretend to be the cure. A lot of AIDS research is being done in terms of sound vibration. The shattering of the virus. Oh my God, it's already morning here, 7 o'clock. Now the noise outside, I hate it. We also say that should you wish to wait it out, the virus will naturally mutate in the dormant stage, where it will become something that will not affect you either positively ooh, or negatively, and it will be dormant, you see, but at any given time it may activate itself again. It will come alive. So you must always be in your guard. If it is COVID, with AIDS, whatever. With cancer also is a disease given. However, many of you may not want to wait until it mutates. Huh? My goodness. And the same thing goes to the COVID about the same thing gives respect to the COVID. It can mutate and I become more resistant, and this is how they do, because it's a program. It's a program, something that is alive. It has conscience, and you need to be, because our body is very flimsy, it's very fragile, and anything it can collapse. It's not easy to deal to carry this body. It's not easy to deal with this body. It's not easy to live in this body. So you must be very, very, very careful. So that's the end for part two. This actually is a part one, and part two is coming, but I break the part one into two because I have other things to do, and so I break into two, and the next also I think I will have to break into two, or number three and four, or maybe just number three. I'll see to it.